Hey everyone. It's been way too long since I ripped fake journalist Jesse Brown a new asshole. So here we go. Hi, I'm Diana Davison. I'm a civil rights activist and I run a non-profit called the Lighthouse Project, helping the falsely accused and exposing the corruption of our legal system by ideologues. This last week, falsely accused arts and entertainment personality Jian launched a new project a year after decimating all 3 false alligators in a court of law. The podcast and videos are a low-key art project, Season 1 starting with one called Exiles, and quickly followed with a comment on Cry Bullies called Screaming Match. The really fun part is the meltdown so-called media critic Jesse Brown had on his own podcast, Canada Land. One of his flaws is that Jesse isn't very good at coming up with names for things. Now, Brown's claim to fame is that he broke the story accusing Jian of crimes, which, as it turned out, were never committed. I've caught Jesse lying again, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, as an example of good behavior, I want to mention the sorrowful apology recently issued by a University of British Columbia professor. He recently accused a BC judge, Judge Leask, of misogyny and supporting rape culture by trying to rush the hearing in a sexual assault trial. It turned out that Professor Benjamin Perrin didn't even read the transcript before filing an official complaint with the Canadian Judicial Council. Guess Perrin got his writing style from the Jesse Brown School of Shitposting. Benjamin Perrin of the University of British Columbia filed a complaint last month with the Canadian Judicial Council based on comments attributed to Justice Peter Leask in a media report from a court hearing on March 20th. I have since learned the full context for the remarks and concluded that they do not support the claims I made in the complaint or my public statements, Perrin said Tuesday in an email to the Canadian press. But at least Perrin had the balls to apologize for his poor research and his errors. I have therefore formally withdrawn my complaint to the Canadian Judicial Council in its entirety, he said. I wish to offer my full and unreserved apology to Justice Leask. I regret both the issuing of the complaint and the public comments I made at the time. But Jesse, hi Jesse, come on out. We need to have a little chat. It's about your response to Jian's new project. So Brown starts out claiming,
I'll tell you a little story.
All right.
It's not much of a story. I'll just tell you what happened. About a couple months ago, I started getting these tips that Jian was plotting a comeback.
But he's lying. On March 10th, exactly 1 month before Jian's podcast release, Canada Land tweeted, "Huh?" wondering if that was actually Jian. If he'd heard rumors that Jian was trying to make a comeback, he would have posted it then. Instead, we can clearly see that he's clueless. How many lies do we have to catch him in before people realize that Jesse Brown is a charlatan and a fraud? This man is maliciously destroying people's lives. People need to stop funding Canada Land. The man is a liar and a hack. He's not even good at covering up his own lies. All right, so let's listen to Jesse having a meltdown because he failed to completely destroy Jian life. I'm going to let John Giorno narrate the stupidity with his stellar performance of
I don't need it, I don't want it, and you cheated me out of it.
Yes, it's a classic case of sour grapes. Just sit back and enjoy the show.
It's just the idea, like exile. Like there is such a thing as just people not wanting to hear your fucking voice anymore. Like I don't want to get all hot about this.
I can't see it, but I can feel the threat.
I perhaps analyze this closer than many.
I'm old and I'm bitter and I'm going to tell you what I think.
Is it as amateurish and as clueless as it appears? Like we have to accept that a team of people he paid a lot of money to sat down with him and plotted out not just this episode, but the next year to 5 years and anticipated every response, every possible iteration of what's going to happen.
We're doing the double backstroking and Esther Williams movie.
Just because he's paying a team of people doesn't mean he's paying a team of good people.
And everything you thought you understood is a misunderstanding or completely wrong.
You know, you can look at the views. For a story that was of that magnitude, it doesn't seem to have gotten many people's attention. And
You get nothing.
I mean, now, the attention, though he might not be monetizing it right now, is ultimately going to be needed for him to mount any kind of, like, viable...
And anyway, you cheated me.
I mean, there's part of me that just thinks, like, no, this is all part of the plan. He's absorbing the scorn. He'll absorb the ridicule. And he'll maybe being boring is part of the plan.
I'm a tough old fag, and I know what I'm talking about.
Now, Jesse fails to tell his audience that he's a complete failure on YouTube himself. He's only uploaded 3 videos since March of 2015, and they haven't gotten many views. I have no idea why Jesse is waxing on like he knows how YouTube works at all, but I can tell you why Reputation.ca shouldn't bother listening to Jesse's advice about their new client. I don't know what Jian has planned for his upcoming videos, but it's going to be both more interesting than Brown's ridiculous The Imposter show, and more honest than anything Jesse Brown has to say. Now, Brown likes to silence people, but I take the opposite approach. Keep talking, Jesse. Liars always screw up. You're just lucky that I can't stand listening to your show, or I'd probably have caught you lying more than twice. Stay tuned. I'm working on a story that's going to thoroughly embarrass the Canadian government and another type of charlatan contributing to the current disasters in our divorce courts. If you want to support honest journalism, switch your Patreon funding from Jesse Brown to the Lighthouse Project and help the falsely accused instead of helping the false accusers.